Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Honish Report. My name is Lee Honish. Today, my friend and investor, Robert Fragoso. This is another direct excerpt from our live event that was held about a week ago in Pasadena, California. Picks up about, 15 minutes in as I'm screwing around with trying to get it squared away. We have video if you want to go watch it. Go to honish.com. It's the first piece that's up there. You'll see it. It's Robert Fragoso. You can also download his PowerPoint there as well. All you have to do is go to honish.com. And also, while you're there, check out how Monster Marketing works and how you can get face-to-face exactly as Robert did in what his presentation is talking about two deals that were mine. They were done in-house, like our team did them with the Monster Marketing. We picked them up. We turned them over to Robert. Those two deals netted approximately $70,000 for our house. So if you want to learn how we turned a regular listing, two regular listings into a $70,000 take, you can listen to this podcast, certainly. If you'd like to see his PowerPoint presentation with the pictures and or watch the video from the live presentation, go to honish.com and click on the story. And again, check out the Monster Marketing System while you're at the site. I appreciate all of you listening. And after these commercial breaks, Robert Fragoso from the Pasadena Pre-Foreclosure Summit. Thanks.
Las Vegas Discount.net's the best there is. Save up to 50% on your next Vegas trip. And travel, rental, shows, and tours. Find the deals you're looking for. Las Vegas Discount.net. Las Vegas Discount.net. If you're going to Vegas for deals that are the best, visit Las Vegas Discount.net.
Are you a real estate agent, realtor, investor, or are you in the real estate business and you need new listings and deals? We have a solution for you, and that solution has guaranteed results. How much would you pay to get face-to-face with a homeowner that wants to sell their home? What if you also got their email address and daytime phone number? And what if this homeowner also scheduled you to come to their door at a set time to meet with you? Sound too good to be true? It isn't. And it is 100% guaranteed for you to meet face-to-face with a real homeowner who really needs to sell their home. Not only will you get this remarkable contact system and its 100% guarantee, at no additional charge, you will get weekly coaching, documents, and training on how to get that homeowner and convert them into a new listing. When you purchase, you'll also get a one-on-one walkthrough so that you can start using the system today. Visit www.thelistingmonster.com. That's www.thelistingmonster.com. Or call Diana Ortiz at 213-706-0040. Stop wasting time the old way. Use a Monster and get actual results today.
Investor rich, where you have more and more flipping that's happening. I'm not afraid to try an area, like a lot of investors, but I do like to be conservative in my, I shouldn't say conservative, but accurate in my numbers, so that I know that we're going to make money. So, any questions for that so far? I'll have a question and answer after.
On the ADU, do you still have the same parking requirements?
No. So with the ADU, what it does is this: is not only can you build that second unit, they can put if it's an ADU, it's one space. If you're converting a garage in the city of LA, you can remove the parking and you can have open air parking, which means if you have a long driveway, you can now do that. And so before it was if you were getting rid of covered parking, you had to replace it with more covered parking. You no longer have to do that. So very, very big opportunity there. And if you know rents in LA, certain areas, even the garage would rent for a couple $1,000s. That certainly helps you offset, the payments and what have you. All right, so
Robert?
Yes.
Another ADU question.
How do you determine how much additional value you can add? I'm sorry. How much additional value can you add on an ADU? Something that you converted that was not permitted, but now you go down to LA City and converted so it's now legal?
So that's a great question, right? So his question was, how much extra value does that add? So one of the challenges that we're having right now is the appraisers have not caught up.
Right.
Because how do you appraise it, right? Is it a duplex? Not really a duplex because it's an ADU and there's a deed restriction that goes on that says, you can't resell it. One of the things about the ADUs, it has to be owner occupied initially when they pull the permits in order to have that accessory dwelling unit. When you look at the ADU standpoint, right? It's really a matter of we're knowing, like in the previous screen where the demographics, right? The demographics are if the buyer wants that extra income, if it's a 2-income household, that's very important. It's going to be worth more to them. And the areas that I'm doing is probably, let's say that $1 million, dollar price point, it probably adds an extra $100,000 and costs about $30 to do. Okay, so we're picking out,
I'm just trying to figure out how to get around the appraiser that doesn't have that formula.
So there will be more and more comps come on because there are several of those permits that are already coming on. And as soon as those sales hit, essentially what you're doing is you're spending a little bit of money to guarantee yourself a higher value set. The other thing that it does as an accessory dwelling unit is that because now it's a living area, it's unlike a guest house that you can't rent. So guest house is considered an amenity, which you can't generally have as your living square footage, right? It's just like a swimming pool. Whereas the accessory dwelling unit, because it can be lit, they're now allowing you to do that. So that's the argument with the appraisers is you pick up this extra square footage for not the cost of building the whole square footage. So that's a value subset.
So I actually have a question.
All right. I thought you were pointing him out, so I apologize.
So again, on the ADU, let's just say someone has built a guest house or something, and people are living in, not within the specifications of the particular city. How easy is it to convert it to a legal ADU?
So it depends on the city, but much easier than it was before.
Okay, so let's just say LA, just for
LA, very easy. Very easy in LA because LA has so one of the setbacks, right? You have to have a setback from your side yard and from the lot line. Used to be 5 feet for living areas.
Yes.
Lots of garages are either on the lot line or they're 3 feet.
Especially in the older areas.
In the older areas? Okay. So what the city said is, or what the state said is that they can't penalize you for those things. And the reason is we're in a housing crisis, right? One of the reasons we have as much homeless as we have is because it's very expensive to rent. And once you fall into that problem, it's very difficult to dig yourself out. If any of you have ever been in any financial woe or situation, digging out is the toughest part, right? Getting into it's easy, right? But that's one of the reasons they waived it. So they waived that. They waived the parking requirements. You still have to be able to park on the lot. And the new ones that just came out, which are the JADUs, those are 500 square feet or smaller, which is typically a garage, right? And there are some cities that say, hey, you still need to replace it. The city of LA, you don't. It's very favorable. Other cities, you don't. And so it is something you should definitely identify. And if they don't have it, then go and read up the ADU guidelines. It's only 33 pages. And you'll understand exactly what the rules are. You can just Google it.
So on my radio show, we had a buddy of mine who's a contractor, and he came on talking about ADUs. And everything you're saying is spot on, by the way. I mean, obviously you're in business, so you know it. But what he does when he goes to the homeowners is when he's looking at, well, how much is this going to add me for value? And how much can I rent this thing out for? He says, go check it out on Craigslist or MLS. You can see what you can rent them out for. In some areas, and beach local communities on these ADUs, you can get $3 a foot, $1,500 a month easily for a 500 square foot place. And on top of that, the value, it does add square footage, because I'm in the mortgage industry, so he's 100% right. It does add square footage to the appraisal. In addition to adding square footage, what you can do as far as figuring out what that value is on the square footage add is you can take a look at what the homes are selling for price per square foot. get a really good idea, what a 2,500 square foot home is, and then you can either look at it from the income perspective or the value add as far as the addition. It's $60 to build it a foot, $80 a foot to build it, and it's worth $300, $400, $500 a foot after it's completed. So it's like the best investment, cash on cash return that you can get on your money right now.
Yeah, the interesting thing with appraisers that happens is that many appraisers want to then use duplex comps. And in many areas, the duplexes will appraise for square footage on par, less than the single family counterpart. Right? So explaining the ADU and the concept and everything else that, hey, it's still a single family, gives you that upside better than a duplex. Now, my guess is that you're going to have duplexes that then use those as comps because their income, comparable. So you'll see some things that change. So going on to some of the different ways that you can look at the opportunities. I'm a buyer, right? So if you have any fixtures, obviously I'd love to buy it. And, but I'm pretty much like all your other investors that you might have out there. I want to buy it, I want to fix it up, I want to reflip it. Benefits if you're not doing this already, and I went back to looking at all of the niche properties that are out there and maybe finding areas where there's more older homes or there are, there's that turnover and you start seeing that tenure start to change or they're hitting that 10-year mark more in one specific area than others. Those are the markets that you're going to want to really identify because you'll identify more fixtures in those markets, right? I didn't put all the niches in there because, really, there's probably 100 different ones you can look into. But look into, pulling the substandards from the city, code violations. These are all distress type scenarios that are unlike your regular, let's say, a short sale, a foreclosure, which is obviously one of the obvious ones. But all of these others that someone might need help with something, those are indications that they might have a deferred interest type home. And those are the situations where I think there's more opportunity than just the listing. The obvious ones, if you just sell it to an investor, is you can earn 3 commissions instead of just 1 because a lot of times they'll let you double end it, and if there's enough room in it, they'll let you relist it on the backside. Does that make sense? So you triple your income with 1 transaction instead of just 1. So these are techniques that you can do or things that you can be cognizant of so that you essentially increase your income while inventory levels are low. Now the benefit is when inventory levels go up, you don't have to change this, but your income might go up, right? Because you do more volume. So, we have a lot of experience in negotiating, being very creative. The 2 scenarios I'll go into right now is the profit sharing one. I'll go over the one where we profit share with the agents first versus the other ones where we profit share with both the seller and the agent. And the first scenario is agent gets the property. Please don't call me for stuff that's on the MLS. I get all that already. I just want the stuff that's either from it's off market. It is either within your office. It is a listing that you're trying to get or you haven't gotten yet. Right? I get brought in early all the time. Because they're trying to get a listing. And in some of here's the thing you have to understand about these sellers. Many of the sellers that have these deferred interest type homes, they're hoarders. Their neighbors don't go in their house, right? They go over to their neighbors' homes when they talk, and they're embarrassed. So the last thing they want to do is have an open house, is put it on the market and have you come take pictures and show the world how they've been living, right? That's not generally, if they can avoid that, they want to avoid that. So you should understand that when you're approaching them. Because I've seen many agents, and they're like, here's my marketing plan, we're going to do this great brochure, we have internet marketing and all this, and they're thinking like, shit, you're going to tell everybody that I haven't washed my bathtub in 15 years, right? And you think I'm joking, but that's exactly what it's going through their mind. And so if you can figure out a way to just buy that property or bring that offer in advance, you can use me as your closing tool. I have an investor, we'll walk through, here's the offer, and sometimes it's less than what they want. Other times they tell us, I just bought one in Fullerton that they literally said, well, we had an offer for $360. If you can give us $365, we'll get it. House is worth $750. I'm like, okay, right? I said, I think that's too low. I'm going to give you $395. And so went up. It was still a home run deal for me. They were super happy, and what happened by doing that, it closed the door from them calling back the other guy and saying, hey, would you give us $370? right? Because they were just happy and we closed the deal right then and there.